Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we'll be taking a look at the 10 rarest Switch games. Though it seems as if everything and anything can get on the Nintendo Switch, some physical copies just didn't stick around too long. Did you nab any of these before they vanished from store shelves? Let us know down in the comments. Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Every few years or so, we get a new Shantae game. You would think this might depreciate the value of some of the games, but in the case of Pirate's Curse, the third game in the franchise, one could not be further from the truth. The physical version is among one of the rarest cartridges to find just by themselves. However, if you're a die-hard Shantae fan and want some extra goodies, like posters, keychains, pins, and a copy of the soundtrack, you might want to save up on funds. Though it costs $79.99 USD at launch, the game by itself can go for a few $100s, and of course, the cost is significantly higher if you're wanting the extra swag. What else would you expect from a limited run games product? At least you won't have to wait 2 years to get it from secondhand sellers. River City Girls.
Kidnapped!
Despite not being as costly as Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, we're still alarmed by the prices people are asking for when it comes to River City Girls. The physical copy of the game will run you close to $100, and that's just for the game by itself.
I've been kidnapped! I'm coming, Kunio! Ricky, I'll save you! Stay down!
As for the Classic Edition, you're going to need to save up about $200 to $300. Why is it so expensive? Well, it is another product made by Limited Run Games, so it's the same rigmarole as Shantae. Only a few thousand copies were made, and the folks who forked over the dough got their stuff over a year after purchase. Most likely. Skylanders Imaginators. The final game in the Skylanders series came at a very weird time. Really, nothing sucks more than launching the last game of your IP right after a new console launches. And just before it exploded too. As expected, not everyone still has the complete starter set for Skylanders Imaginators. It's kind of what happens when so many pieces are involved for the game to be playable, but if you do have your parts in solid condition and the packaging still in tip-top shape, you could be looking at a few $100s to cash in, and it's a lot more money than you most likely paid for at launch.
Only your imagination can create Skylanders powerful enough to defeat chaos and save Skyland. Who will you create?
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
とっても大事なことなんですもん。
私と同調したたった一人の方ですから。
It is kind of odd to say a game from Nintendo is rare, Mario 3D All-Stars notwithstanding, of course. The thing about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is that, unlike our previous entries, you can find a regular copy for somewhat less than the initial price. It's the special edition that can put a major dent in your wallet.
だったら俺なんかそばにいない方がいいんだ。
こんなバカ野郎！
How badly? Well, let's just say that selling a copy of your own can probably cover a few car payments. If you spent the $100 back when it was initially sold, it's safe to say your investment may have just paid off.
Not with words, but with your own strength.
Everyone, let's go!
Worms WMD. The Worms games used to not have much trouble with getting physical releases, but in the new digital era, most games published by Team 17 rarely get prints. So we can kind of understand why Worms WMD is exceedingly scarce. What makes its rarity stranger is how there was a physical release planned before getting cancelled in 2018, only for plans to resume through a partnership with Super Rare Games later that same year. Adding to the confusion is that if it was in such high demand, why only 4,000 prints? Regardless of one's feelings about the whole kerfuffle, a physical copy of Worms WMD on Switch now fetches for a few $100s minimum.
Victory.
Evoland. You're probably thinking, what the hell is Evoland? We thought the same thing. Well, Evoland was an RPG released all the way back in 2013 for PC. Despite middling reviews, the game sold roughly 500,000 copies on Steam and even got a sequel in 2015. But back to the Switch version, which bundled both games together, Evoland Legendary Edition saw a limited print in 2019, sold for a little over $30. With only 5,000 copies printed, the game can run you at least $100. Gris. A physical copy of Gris can be obtained for a somewhat modest price of $40 or $50. It's quite a premium to pay for a game that's less than $20 on digital, though it is an excellent title that is well worth your money. But if you absolutely need the goodie bag that comes with the Signature Edition, prepare thy wallets. The few listings we came across were floating right around $1,000 for the whole enchilada. We'll just go ahead and say that not everybody needs to go into collecting. Fox in Forest. Here we have another super obscure indie game that has somehow broken into the collector ecosystem. Though this platformer was also developed for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, the physical Switch version seems to be the one most collectors seek. As to why, who can say? Nevertheless, Fox and Forest by itself can run you about $200, and again, that's just for the game. You don't want to see the prices for the collector's edition. It's obscene. Celeste. Many will tell you that Celeste was the indie darling of 2018, and some of the MojoPlays team would say the same. But if you really wanted a plushie of the game's elusive strawberry collectible, along with some other knickknacks, then we hope you have the ducats to spare. The collector's edition of Celeste typically goes for $250 to $300, sometimes higher. Just saying, a digital copy is always a decent choice to save on scratch. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. We can already hear someone blowing their thyroid up from this. Breath of the Wild isn't rare, what are you talking about? Of course it isn't, but the Master Edition is. Just to give you an idea on how rare this item is, Nintendo themselves warned customers about the extremely limited quantity. In their own words, quote, "When it's gone, end quote. Once $120, this package is now one of the most expensive and sought-after collector's items. How much, you ask? Oh, you probably can't afford it. I can't. I certainly can't, and I don't think anybody else here on the MojoPlays team can either. It's ridiculous.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, there's more where that came from.